Back in.
Oh, really? Are you going to count down?
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Hello, ladies. Welcome to our third edition of this tea time on Tuesday. Hopefully you remember it's Tuesday. And we are just so thankful for you to be with us, for your interaction, for your time, and that you are giving to this time that we are gathered through the computer. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say it's been so incredible just to watch over the past few weeks the conversations, the connections that are happening through these little videos or these questions that we're putting out into the group. For me, it's just, it brings life to me, just knowing, okay, this community may not be together face-to-face, person-to-person, but we can still interact and connect through Facebook, and I love that. So today, we have the opportunity to get to know one of our own from our community, and this is Lysha Doss. She and her husband, Chris, have been a part of our family for a little while. I will let her fill that in, but part of these tea times will be some conversations between just us, but then I also wanted to just start to bring in some women from our community to get to know them better. And this is a little bit of a selfish ask when I thought of Lysha, because we see each other on Sundays, we with kids and different things, and our paths will cross, as most of ours will do on Sundays. It's a little crazy. And so when I thought, oh no, I want to start bringing people in to ask questions, get to know them more, I was like, I'm going to have Lysha, because it's something that I wanted to have a little bit more time to get to know you more. And so it's been, that's why I said it's selfish, because I'm pretending that we're just in my own home and we're having coffee and hanging out or tea, and but then we're just including you guys in on this conversation. And so I'm just excited for all of us to get to know you more. And so I have, like I said, I have so many questions, but what, I mean, you don't have to give me your whole life story, but like, what brought you to Medford?
Yeah, it is kind of a journey. Like, it was definitely a journey. So Chris and I were actually, directly before we lived in Medford, we were actually living in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
And Chris was pastoring there. He was the worship pastor / community pastor at a church in Spokane. And we had moved there to be under Chris's childhood mentor as the pastor. And we really, there's a lot before that. We'd been living in Colorado. We'd been running a coffee shop, and we came out of Colorado. We planted a church in Colorado, started a coffee shop in Colorado, had this great church, but we were burnt out. We were really, really burnt out, and we were really tired. And so this opportunity to move to Spokane came up. We moved to Spokane, and the church wasn't a good fit for us, and we weren't a good fit for the church as well. Chris is very much an evangelist. He has led more people to Jesus than anyone I've ever known.
Wow.
Pretty much more than everyone I know put together. Like, I'm not joking.
Wow.
He loves to talk about Jesus, and he loves to just know people's story. And so being in a church that wasn't as outward focused was really hard on him, and there was a lot of restrictions put on us, and we were really, it was a rough time. It was a rough 2 years that we were there, and we really felt like about a year in, we're like, we need to go home. And we're both originally from Oregon. Chris is from Myrtle Creek, and I was born in Eugene.
Okay.
And so we were both like, we want to go home. We thought about going back to Eugene because that's where we were first married. We were married and lived in Eugene. But then I was like, well, what about Southern Oregon? Because Chris is from, Myrtle Creek, Roseburg area. And so what if we went Southern Oregon? I don't know if we want to be in Eugene. And so I actually came out a year before we moved out here. So it had been like 2018 in the fall. And Kim was speaking that weekend. Because I was like, I'll come down and I'll visit my friends who live here. Kristen, Eaton, and Keely Brown already lived here. So I was like, I'll come visit them, let them drive me around town and see if it's something, if we even care about it, if we want to come here. And I came to church on Sunday, and Kim was speaking. Okay. And I remember exactly, I don't even remember what she was speaking about, but I remember one thing she said. she was talking about like friendships and how you allow people into your life. And she's like, who are the people that you allow to be part of your life? And I was like, they actually want to be friends with each other, like, you know?
Wow.
And I'd spent a lot of time in church, as a lot of us have that have ended up at Living Waters, and in a lot of like superficial churches with a lot of performance mentality, and like hearing this from the pulpit. First off, it being a woman in the pulpit, and second off, it being a woman telling us to challenge each other and to be friends with each other, like real friends. I was like, okay, I think we need to be here.
Whoa.
And so I told Chris, and so
then you're with your friends.
Yes, I'm sitting here next to Kristen and Keelan, who are two of my best friends that we went to college together, and I'm like, okay, I think we need to be here. So I went home and I told Chris about it, and we just prayed about it. And so it was a year later, almost a year, probably like 9 months later, that we moved here. And so we just like, we picked up and we moved. My job was remote, so I was able to just move. And we kind of came here, and we were kind of a hot mess when we got here. We were tired and broken and really churched out.
Yes.
And we were just like, okay. And we got here, and we just like didn't do anything. Like we just were like, okay, we're not going to do anything. Like, we're both capable of, you know, volunteering or doing this or that. And we're like, but we're not going to do anything. And so we kind of like laid low for like a year.
Undercover.
And we were just like, we're just going to go to church.
It's so good.
We're just going to hang out. And yeah, that's how we got here. I mean, it was kind of a crazy, there's a lot other stuff that happened, but I just feel like the Lord kind of set this like little path for us to get here. And set everything up, even down to Kim speaking that Sunday, you know? So.
And just like tugged on your heart. Yeah. I mean, the Lord is so faithful to all of our hearts, but just to see that like individual, your story and how he met you, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And I love, because I know within ministry or within church and how you walk in, you're like, oh, it's a new church. We're going to walk in and I can do something for them. I want to serve. And that's great. But then it's also just come and just be. Yeah. I love that you even felt that permission, and even knowing yourself to go, we just need to be and not do anything that's incredible.
And it was like one of the first times we walked into a church too, and felt like we walked in and we weren't like, oh no, they need us. You know, sometimes you walk in, you're like, oh no, they need us. We better volunteer.
We need to help them.
Yeah, exactly. We need to help them. And not that everyone isn't needed and that there isn't like a place. And now we have found a lot of good places to serve and whatnot. Yes. But it wasn't this like, oh no, no one knows how to run sound. Chris, get on it. You know, it was like, oh no, they don't have any bass players. Gotta get on. Like, it was like,
you felt just like,
they can handle this. And I didn't feel like this, like, oh no, I better step in. Things are, you know, it was like, okay, we're just here. Even if things do, like, even if there is it doesn't matter. Like, we don't have to be in control of everything, and we don't have to be the ones. Sometimes we just need to sit and listen and just rest and let the Lord like speak to us. And like, and so it was a really great, like, our first year. It probably wasn't, I mean, it wasn't really till the beginning of COVID. It wasn't till like, you know, we were here for almost like 9 months till we started like, okay, let's kind of start stepping in a little bit.
Yes.
So,
wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I just love knowing how people, just part of the story and the journey of just becoming into our family, and like how that, you know, how the Lord leads. And so I think I love that part of your story. And then I know it probably was nice to have some community. And do you feel like you are continuing to build community within, I mean, like, because you had Kristen and Kayleen, shout out, amazing women, that then they just kind of like, you just built.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing because, we had Kristen and Keeleen and, of course, John. Yeah. No, you're not watching. Maybe. But we had them, but they, like, created these little ties for us. And, like, And it was amazing when we came that there was so many people that like immediately reached out to us, because we've always been the ones reaching out and being like, oh, we'll take you out to lunch, or we'll come over to our house. But it was like within weeks, like Melissa and Shiloh Mansaranis were like, come over to our house, we'll take you. And it was like, they just like scooped us up. And it was like, it was almost like this shock of like, do you want to be our friends now? Like already? And then like, and just being scooped, I literally felt like we were just scooped up by people. And then I did camp at, I did Camp 17 at Drop Gym, like within a couple weeks. And so and then that's how I met Tess Faust. And then like total unlikely friends.
Yes.
And then her and I have become so close. Yeah. And then, like I said, at the beginning of COVID, I'd been meeting with Kim. Like I immediately like zeroed in on Kim, and I was like, I need to know this woman, and I need her to speak into my life. Yeah. And so like within like me being here for a month, I like text Kim. I'm like, hey, do you want to just like have coffee with me all of the time? Yeah. And just to help me be a human. And so Kim and I started meeting just like semi-regularly and just getting to know each other and like talking through things. And I was a hot mess. Like I would be like, she's just like, it's okay. But when I remember it was right like June or something like that. So we're like a couple months into like being locked down. And so Kim and I went on a walk, and we were drinking coffee. And so she started telling me about community groups getting started. Yeah. Maybe it was earlier than that, I don't know. And as soon as she said that, like the Lord was like, go. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. Like, I'll be a leader. Like, put me in. I was like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. Yeah. And because that's always in my heart, is like the church being a community. Like, not just like showing up early to church and drinking coffee together, but like, let's be in each other's lives and be friends. And like, we're the ones, like, I want to be those people that show up when you have to, like, a tree fell down on your house. Like, who do you call? Like, it's not just, you call your church friends because they're your family, and like, things like that. And like, and so we partnered with the Mansaranises, and so we started a community group, excuse me. And so that has been like, that's like my favorite day of the week is our community group night. And we like bounce between houses, and we like make giant meals. And it's the best. And all of our kids are around the same age. And I just love it. It's so awesome. And we've been able to like adopt other families to have come into our community group. And it's just building that deep. I just feel like it just keeps going deeper and deeper. And like we started off our community group by like all of us telling each other our life stories, which is really intense, but was just like awesome. Yes. And so I just feel like my community here is just so deep. It's like, I don't know if I've ever been in a place where I've had such a deep community, and it's not what I expected at all. It's not what I expected at all. So, wow. Yeah.
I love it. I promise I did not pick her because she's like highlighting all of our.
I
know. Promise. But I love that you've just caught the vision, and that you are just like, I'll do it, but then also I feel like there's this balance of knowing for you guys the rest, and then the work, and then the rest, and so, okay, but I have like a couple like very just like minor questions. How long have you and Chris been married?
We will be 15 years this September, so 14 and a half years.
Okay. And then tell us your kids' names and ages.
Yes. So we have 3 girls, all girls. Zoe is 11, and then Taria, she's in the 6th grade. Okay. And then Taria is 10. Okay. And she's in the 4th grade. And then Vala is 6. Going on 25, and she is in the 1st grade.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Just to kind of give some reference of, your home and things like that. So, I think we could talk about COVID, and maybe we'll get to there, but with a little bit more time left, I know that you had emailed Ryan and I. Oh, sorry. Touched the microphone. Ryan and I, in January or something, and just kind of shared a little bit of what you and Chris do as a family at the beginning of the year. So I would love for you to kind of share with us what that looks like.
So probably, I don't know, Chris and I started, I don't even know how long ago, probably like 10 years ago, we started doing a Daniel fast every January. And it started off just the two of us, and a Daniel fast basically is vegan. Like, you don't eat any meat. It's really just fruits, vegetables, and we keep it pretty locked down. We do just fruits, vegetables, nuts, and no sugar, alcohol, no meat. And so that was we'd done for years. And about 3 years ago, I was like, you know what if we just did no screens, like no social media, no TV, nothing? And Chris was like, oh, God. And he's like, for the kids too. And I was like, let's see what happens. And like the first 2 years we did it, it was pretty rough. Like I traveled a lot for work at the time. So it was really rough to be in a hotel room for like hours by myself. And it's like, what do I do?
Oh my gosh,
yeah. Like I would be in Chicago, in freezing Chicago in January, and it was pretty boring. But this year, you know, we've gone through a lot. Like the Lord has really taken us through a lot. We just have had a really incredible season of rest. The Lord's really worked in us a lot. But so this year we did it, and so basically we do no, like I said, no screens, no social media, no TV, no video games. We don't allow. We live in community right now. We have family living with us, and we asked everyone no screens in the common areas, and like you can do whatever you want in your own living space, but in our area we want no screens because our time is really focused on recentering, like listening to the Lord. And it's this year was fantastic. Like it was amazing. We had like a lot of moments where or hours where we would we started like in the evening just saying we're just gonna have quiet time. Like you can we all sit in our bed, like our king size bed, or like the kids are sitting on the floor in our room, and we're just gonna have quiet time. You can read a book, you can do a quiet activity. We're not even gonna listen to music, just keep it quiet. And for the first like 5-10 minutes, like my little one especially is like, Mom, I'm like, Fala, we're keeping it quiet. And then after a while, they just kind of get engrossed in, like, you know, one of my daughters, I'm teaching them to crochet. It's like a weird skill I have. I crochet like a grandma.
That's right.
Yeah, I do. I like a grandma. I love to. So I'm teaching them to crochet. So they'd be like just completely engrossed or like making friendship bracelets or drawing or reading or whatever. And we're just being quiet. And it was just like some of these like incredibly sweet moments of just peace.
Yes. Yeah.
And then like we read a lot of books and went on a lot of walks, went on a lot of hikes, went sledding a lot. But like I just really felt like Chris and I have really gotten into the habit of walking a lot in the evening. We like to walk at least a mile, sometimes 2 miles in the evening together, and it's kind of our debrief time. And we had this kind of in the middle of this time, we really felt like we're having this conversation. It's like, you know, like we have like one of those really Holy Spirit led conversations where it's like you're kind of finishing each other's ideas and you're like really, and we came to this like agreement with the three of us, the Holy Spirit and Chris and I, is like, we are not going to do anything in a hurry anymore. Like if we feel rushed in anything in our lives, the answer is no. Like if we feel like someone's saying, like, you have to make this decision now.
Yes.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
And because that's where, you know, I feel like we've always really tried to follow the voice of the Holy Spirit, but we've always had this rush. Like, if we don't act now, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it. We're going to miss it. And just learning what the Lord has really taught us in the last year is that's just not how it works. Like that's how He's like, I'm not going to run away from you because you didn't act fast enough.
Yes.
And it's gotten us into trouble. It's got us into financial trouble. It's got us into trouble, you know. And so it's like, okay, we don't need to do that. Like the Lord's like, learning to just wait on Him has been like the biggest lesson. We've kind of, as a family, have been learning this in the month of January. It's like, what does that look like to wait on the Lord in quiet?
Yes. And
getting rid of all of the distractions and just like, so that was like our big thing that the Lord spoke to us in this month was like, if it's in a hurry, it's no. Like, just wait on me, wait on the answer, and like, and so it was a really good month and a lot of creativity. I'll tell you, kids out of boredom stems a lot of creativity. I have like endless stacks of drawings and paintings. Like my entire kitchen table would just be like paintings. Tria just is like a machine. She just like starts painting.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so great.
You're like, now what do I do with all
of these paintings?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was really good.
That is beautiful. I think with when we're given time, which feels so like so elusive sometimes within our culture and society where it's like, we got to go, we got to do, we got all these things. And then it's like, wait, we've just gotten sucked up into this thing that's actually not true.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I love that. And then how he speaks and
Yeah.
how he meets you. And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, this is the way I want you
Yeah.
to live. And when through all the distractions, we a lot of times probably miss that.
Yeah.
And that voice and
And there's so much noise. You realize like you're always surrounded with so much noise. And when you start removing it, you're like,
yes.
it's so quiet.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yes.
And so it's just amazing how much more of yourself you learn about in just quiet. And letting there be quiet is scary.
Yeah.
Because you're like alone with your own thoughts, like the sounds of like the street or your house creaking or just like all the sounds you don't realize are happening because we're just like music and even just like this video on YouTube and like there's so much sound all of the time that it's amazing.
That we get accustomed to it, and then when it's like not there,
it's like, oh my goodness. What is this like actually? So it's like I start finding myself now like not even like putting on things anymore, like because you kind of, that's the thing that's good about like it being a month is you start breaking those habits. Like you start breaking that like, oh, we walk in the house and click on the TV or like as soon as I sit down, I don't even know where my phone is half of the time anymore. Like I just don't even.
Incredible. No, that's amazing.
So it's good.
Yeah. Wow. You have inspired me. I don't know how, but I just love that even part, I want so much more time with you. And so maybe we will keep this going. The video will cut off soon, but because there is just, so much. And that just to go, wait, where can we pull back a little bit? And where are our, how can we create those quiet spaces and shut off some of those things that I know that we all can fight against and go, well, I need this. I need this. And go, well, actually, maybe not as much as you actually have been almost programmed to believe that we are. It reminds me of that book. Have you read The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry?
Yeah, I just read it this fall, and so I'm like, so I think that was part of it too. I was like super inspired to like really like dig in and like actually be super present.
Yes.
This month and like okay, what is like, let's actually like just not try and push through it. Like I just gotta like make it to the end. Like this one, I like really wanted to be present.
Wow.
And it just.
Wow. Do you think like next time you'll go like 2 months, or do you always feel like no, let's do a month?
Because like I don't want it to be like where it's like we're dreading it. Like I actually get so excited and like I was so excited this December. I was like I can't wait for it to be January. And I think a month feels good because it's like that, like, it's a good amount of time. Yeah. You get like, in January, it's like a 31-day, month. So you get, it's like even,
full.
It's a full month. Like, and so it's a good amount of time. And it's kind of fun because it's in the winter. So it's kind of like a cozy time to kind of feel some of that stillness, you know? And I really enjoy it. And like, and seeing my girls' behavior change. And like, I would challenge you parents out there, getting your kids off screen will change their behavior. Like, I don't want to sound like this high, like lofty, like, but it's like, it's insane how much their behavior will change when they do not spend a lot of time on screens. Like, just their empathy grows. Their empathy will grow. Like, that is one thing I've like been really like cognizant of watching, like, okay, when they spend a lot of time on screens, their empathy like starts to shrink. And they don't know that. They can't identify that in themselves. Yes. But I'm like, this is for real. Like it's real. And so I would just challenge you, like, just try it, just see what happens. And it takes a while to get past it, past the whining.
You're please, like, oh Mom, my gosh.
Please, it's just a short show. What if
I should do this? I don't know.
And they'll bargain with you. Anything. Like, Mom, can I watch National Geographic? Like anything.
They're like bargaining fools.
They're like anything. They're like, it's educational, Mom.
Yes. No, I know those reasonings. Man. No, that's so incredible. And I could imagine, I think you are, like I said, you're inspiring me. I know that you probably are with some of these women here and just going, okay, looking at our lives. And so I mean, I'm not going to be like, no, everyone can have coffee with Lysha, text her. I'm just, thank you for giving me some of your time, us some of your time, and sharing oh gosh, it was just like barely, anything, but enough for where I really felt like I got to see glimpses of your heart and just what the Lord is doing in your life. And so for ladies, I just wanted to say that maybe something that Lysha mentioned or said something, maybe even at the beginning, she was from Colorado or something that hit something in your heart, or you're like, oh, I want to know more about that. You can message her. You can connect with her if you come in on Sundays or just online. I mean, like I said, I'm not giving all your time away. She's not going to do anything in a hurry. But just, I'm just thankful that you are part of our community, of our family, of our women here, just to encourage us, to call us higher into who the Lord is for each of us. And so I just wanted to thank you for joining me on our tea time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's been awesome.
Yes, it's been incredible. So thanks, ladies. We will see you later.